The good and bad of buying someone else's business. Hi, I'm Josh Horn with Horn Valuation. I help business owners and attorneys with business valuation and building business value. So you're looking at buying someone else's business, or you already have. And it helps to know some of the good and bad that I've seen. And I've learned this, quite honestly, through the school of hard knocks. I didn't have a checklist necessarily, and sometimes helping clients through this, or even inside a business when we did acquisitions, some of these things I've seen, these are mistakes I've made. And so it's good to know where some of the things are that you could trip up on. And that's why I'm bringing these to you, to save you time, money, and help you through this process. So what's a good thing, and possibly how that could be spun into a bad thing, and how we might address each of these. So I'm going to talk about three of these. The first one is, hey, it's great to have name recognition, brand awareness, and a built-in set of customers. That's a good thing, right? So I'd put that at the top of the list when buying someone else's business. That's a great thing to have, because you start out, you know you're likely going to have money coming in the door. Your customers know who you are, and you have awareness out there in the marketplace. When you're starting from ground zero as an unknown, this is a very difficult thing to do. Something I've struggled with in my business is building awareness. So when you buy a business that has awareness, you can get past that. Now, what's the flip side of this, the bad thing potentially? Well, one of the things I've seen is the current owner's vision may be very different from yours. And so your customers, whether you like it or not, have a vision as to what it is you do. And so you walk into that situation, and if you want to continue to do business that way, that's great. However, if you have a different vision of what you want to do, say you want to be a widget designer instead of a widget maker, which is what your customers think you do, and you want to get your business pivoted in that direction, just understand that's going to take time and money, and there's going to be some frustration there. So understand what the current owner's vision is, what their customers' vision of that business is now, and whether or not you're okay with that, or whether you want to change that. The second thing is an in-place workforce. This is a great thing to have. So you walk in, you have a set of employees that, after you ask and find out and do your due diligence, hopefully most of them are going to stay. And again, that's something to look at as well. So you have some employees, they're hopefully comfortable in their roles, they understand them. Great, right? Now, what's potentially the bad part of that? Well, one of the things I've seen, unfortunately, is that some of them may not share your core values. So I encourage you to really sit down before you ever buy a business and figure out what your core values of running your business are, whether those are honesty and integrity, quickly to help customers, whatever that is, whatever the culture is that you want them to embrace, you need to establish that up front. So one of the things I find sometimes is that cultural fit isn't always there with all the employees. So the new owner comes in, and being you, and your idea of what cultural values matter are different than the old owners. And one of the biggest mistakes I see made is that they hang on to those employees too long. And so the quick fix to this, as painful as it may seem, is I encourage you to fire very quickly in these situations. Don't let them hang around, because the cost to somebody in your organization that is a bad core values fit is quite frankly immeasurable. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I've seen made. I made this mistake, held on to people too long, justifying it because, oh, we'll never get the work done, etc. Don't do it. Just let them go. Just move on. Find someone else that's a better fit. And finally, systems and processes. Documented, hopefully, systems and processes. There's computer systems, etc. This is generally a good thing. Now, what's the bad part of it? Well, one of the things I've seen a lot of times, unfortunately, is those systems either can't do the work, won't do the work, and they either need to be replaced, they're not giving you the data you need, etc. And so one of the things I encourage you to research on the front end before buying a business are, what are the key things you want to get from your data systems? What kinds of information do you want to get? And do the current systems provide that? Now, I've talked a lot about gross profit. In a transaction type business, this is one of the most important things you have to have. So you're making a lot of transactions with customers and you don't even know what your gross profit margin is on each transaction, or you can't prevent the gross profit from dropping because the system is so antiquated. This is a big, big deal. And in some cases, you may need to invest in a new system to tackle this problem. Keep this in mind. This can cost a ton of money, a ton of time. I'm going through this right now with a client, and it is going to be, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel coming out the other side. It's going to be painful to get there, though. And so what happens sometimes is that when you dig in and look, you find that there's this hole in the systems. You need information that you're not getting, and then you have to invest in a new system. It's much more helpful to know this up front, particularly if you're negotiating buying that business, so you can put that in as part of the deal if necessary. So these are some of the things you can take a look at when you buy someone else's business. You are potentially buying some great things. You could be buying some problems too. So think about both. This is Josh Horn, CPA from Horn Valuation. Have a great day. Bye.